Ozempic, Trulicity, are these drugs that you've been told that you can't use for weight loss? Let's find out the truth. Welcome to Getting Understanding with Dr. Darrell Ellis. Today we want to talk about a topic that has come up in both the medical literature as well as in my practice of medicine. And that is whether or not a class of medications called GLP-1 agonists, or medications that we commonly use for diabetes control, can or should be used for weight loss. Many people have heard that drugs like Ozempic and Trulicity, which are in that class of medications called GLP-1 agonists, should not be used strictly for weight loss because of risk of complications. Well, the truth is that we've been using GLP-1 analogs to help people lose weight probably for about 10 years now. In fact, there are two GLP-1 analogs that are already being approved or have been approved by the FDA specifically for weight loss. You may have heard of the drug called Wegovy. Well, Wegovy, which is a weight loss drug, is actually a GLP-1 analog. So then why would there be some kind of a debate as to whether or not it's safe and effective to use that same class of medications specifically for weight loss in patients who are not diagnosed with diabetes? Well, I have a couple of theories about that. Number one, we live in a capitalist society, and we are a market-driven society. When more people decide that they want to use a certain type of medication or product, it increases the demand for that product. In increasing the demand for that product, you also, in result, decrease the supply of that product. Add to that some of the problems that we've been having with respect to supply chain and getting things over to this country from outside of the United States. We've created a situation where now those same medications, Trulicity and Ozempic specifically, are on back order in most pharmacies in the country. Now, what does that result in? We've got high demand, we've got short supply, and now those people who make the decisions about costing can increase the cost of the medication as a response to the increased demand and decreased supply. It's really simple capitalist mathematics. So now what we're seeing is medications that insurance companies used to be able to get for a reasonable cost, well, reasonable cost as it pertains to the pharmaceutical industry, are having to pay significantly more. And as a result of that, they now are taking those medications off of their formularies and passing the cost on to the patients. So if you go to the pharmacy and try and get a prescription for Trulicity, if you don't have the diagnosis of diabetes, your insurance company, number one, will probably not approve the medication at all. And you'll find out that cost is about $300 to $350 a month for a shot that you only take once a week. So for 4 injections, you're going to be paying $300 to $350. The other thing that the insurance companies are doing is that in patients who do qualify for the drug based upon their diagnosis of diabetes, they are also only paying a smaller percentage of the total cost. So again, the incremental increase in the cost that the drug manufacturers are passing on is going to have to be absorbed by the patient. So if a year ago, let's say 2 years ago, you had a prescription for Trulicity and your copay was $45. If you were to get that same prescription today, it's likely to be more like $210. It's the same drug. It's probably dosed at the same frequency, yet you're paying almost 5 times more for the drug. It's all part of this whole big pharma capitalist system that we're operating in as medical practitioners. The drug is no more injurious to your body than it was 5 years ago. It's no more dangerous than it was 5 years ago. It just costs a whole lot more because more people have caught on to the fact that one of the side effects of these medications is weight loss. Well, how does that happen? One of the ways that the GLP-1 analogs work to help lower your blood glucose and subsequently help you lose weight is that it slows down the amount of time it takes for your stomach to empty after a meal, what we call the gastric emptying time. So you get full faster and you stay full longer than you did prior to starting this medication. As a result, your caloric intake goes down. As your caloric intake goes down and your caloric burn, or the amount of calories that you utilize on a daily basis, either stays the same or goes up, the result is weight loss. It's a simple side effect from the medication. Now, what I don't want you to get the idea of is that using these medications cannot potentially be harmful. Any medication that we prescribe, any medication, whether it's a Tylenol, whether it's a diabetes drug, has the potential for side effects. So do not take the medication if you're not being properly monitored by a healthcare professional. You know, there are opportunities out there to get medications over the internet from across seas without necessarily having a prescription from a physician. I think that's unwise. The reason is, even though you may have it given to you by a physician over the internet, you're not going to be monitored by a physician here locally to look for the potential side effects of the drugs. And that's a very important thing. Any medication, I recommend you have proper monitoring in place so that you find out and are assured that it's safe and effective for you before you begin use and continue to use that medication for whatever the result is going to be. Bottom line, these medications are safe. Bottom line, these medications are effective, both for controlling diabetes and for weight loss if used properly. I hope you enjoyed today's content. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, and press that bell notification so as we continue to roll out new content, you'll be among the first to hear about it. Also, at this point, we've been doing this for almost 2 years, and we developed a good library of different topics that you can reference, take a look at. If you have questions about specific medical issues, check the library out. See if those questions have already been answered. If not, send us questions and we can develop new content based upon those questions. God bless you.